Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous, fabulous TV show. Tonya.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited that you're here at the Tonya Hofmann's Fabulous TV show because we have a fabulous guest, as usual. Miss Judy Morris is in the house. Hey, Judy.
Hey, Tonya. Hello, everybody.
So we're going to have another fantastic show. Remember to stick around to the end because, like all of my guests, Judy has an amazing free offer for you. And she told me about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to take advantage of this because it's amazing. So there's a little teaser to keep you on, but I know you're going to have so much fun. You won't want to go anyplace anyways. So we are having really great momentum for this year. You know, for 2015, how exciting. You know, my goal every year, and this is something you have to think about, it doesn't have to be a monetary goal or a specific, this is what's got to happen. Because what I find is that when I leave opportunities open, more things happen. So my goal is always to not recognize myself by the end of the year. So if I look back at myself at the beginning of 2014, be like, who is that woman back then? Because I have challenged myself, I've explored opportunities, I have created momentum, I have created the things around me that I want to happen and that I didn't even know was even available to happen because I leave it open. And I want to encourage you not to get so stuck on one tree in the forest. You know, a lot of times people get really stuck. They're holding on to that tree. I'm like, I'm going to make this happen. This tree is going to happen. And because they're so focused on that one tree, they miss not only all the other amazing trees out there, but all the incredible paths that lead you through the forest to incredible opportunities. Okay? So, yes, set some goals for yourself, but leave it open for amazing things to happen. Like Judy's going to give us some amazing, really kind of unique, ideas today. And I want you to open your mind, even if this may be a little weird for you or something that you've never even heard of before. Leave it open. I'm always excited when I get to meet anyone who has something amazing to tell me, and because it's their expertise, right? So let's get going with Miss Judy. So Judy, tell me about you, what you've got going on. How have you changed your world?
Well, I've changed my world in a couple of really amazing ways. One is with Feng Shui. And what is Feng Shui? Well, Feng Shui is the art and science of having your environment really support your goals, support how you want to live, how you want to work, how you want your life to be. And so that was one, and I got very, very engaged with that. And I have a great story about how I even got into it. I was a management consultant, and I was what we called, before we called them success coaches and life coaches, we called them personal, business, and productivity coaches. And so I was one of the founding members of that whole kind of thing. And I discovered Feng Shui quite accidentally. Right, accidentally. And I got very interested, and I found one of the top teachers in the whole world, and I've been working with him for 25 years.
Wow.
And during that time, I was also leading high-level transformational programs, and I had that whole resume, and I was a big volunteer. I've been volunteering since I can't remember how. I've always volunteered. And I then got really, really sick. I got really sick, and I had to move. I moved from Houston to the Austin area, thinking that was going to help. And I shifted my lifestyle very dramatically. I stopped traveling so much, and I was, really, really trying to take care of myself, but I had already pushed it too far. And for the next 3 years, I really worked with a lot of the best physicians and healers and all kinds of really wonderful people. And finally, they just said, we can't fix it. We can't even tell everything that's wrong with you, but we do know what's going to be the final, what's really going to take you out. And so you have about a year to live. So
Wait. So they told you had 1 year to live.
1 year to live, yeah.
And what year was this?
That was in 2004.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, that was August, September. Oh, yeah, August 2004. And that year I had gained 110 pounds in 1 year, eating 600 and less calories a day. So it was, I mean, the just that piece of it was enough to take, really create problems. So that was the situation. And then someone told me, about 2 months after the doctors, gave their thing, somebody told me about this energy doctor. And I went, well, what kind of energy doctor? And she said, well, I can't really tell you. But then, and then a couple of days later, another friend of mine told me about this energy doctor. And I said, so how can I find out about, how to get in touch with him? So she said, well, talk to so-and-so. So I was at a big event and I actually went to, saw the person that I needed to talk to. And I said, can we talk tomorrow? And he said, sure. And we talked, and I got in to see this energy doctor who was actually coming in from Los Angeles into Austin, but he was more than an energy doctor. He's actually one of the top gastroenterologists, internal medicine doctors in the world, which was very useful for what my issues were, and among other things. But so it was I worked with him. It was a combination of doing the Western medicine and doing the Eastern medicine. So it wasn't just, they're all different kinds of energies. And I'm a level 3 Reiki master, and I'm a Feng Shui master. I mean, I've got all kinds of tools, and I was dying. So it really took it was like getting the big guns. And so he works with this system that gave birth to Feng Shui and Tai Chi and Qigong and Chinese medicine, that sort of thing. So he's studied and worked with the last living grandmaster of that system, and is now one of the few people on the planet that can actually work with us in that way. And not just in the healing modalities, but in the ways of being way more successful. So that was 10 years ago. So that was, and I've been working with him ever since. And he now comes to Austin and he does group sessions, and he does, and it's very practical. And he works with really amazing, high professional people, and he's clergy from every religion in the world, all that, because this is the thing, the thing that we had most in common, this doctor and I, is that we're both about world peace. Now that sounds like so crazy, especially when you look out there, but there are a bunch of us that are really interested, and we're not militant about it. We're actually looking to see what are the fundamental changes in your environment. So in your internal environment and your external environment, what are the changes that we can make one person at a time that shifts and makes it so much better? And so that's what I do. That's what I'm up to. And that's the, the Reader's Digest version of the story. But I'm obviously not dying anymore. I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life, and happier and more productive.
Nice. And it's interesting. I was just meeting a lady yesterday for lunch, and she's from the Middle East, and she's looking at world peace also. But I think this is what everyone thinks is the world peace is. You got to do the whole world at a time, but realistically, it's about helping individuals and creating momentum through each person. Don't you find?
That's correct, and that's what Dr. Morgulin says. He says, world peace, one person at a time, and
Yeah.
that's what we do.
Right. I love that. And that's why I love doing what I do, and you go out and you speak and you connect with great people. And, for me, it's all kind of fun every day. Why do anything if it's not going to be fun? And always a little bit silly. I like having a lot of fun and being a little silly. I mean, even for this show, right? I've got this great jingle and it's like Tonya Hoffman's fabulous. I mean, how silly is that? So, a lot of times people take things too seriously. There is time to be serious, and there's time just to let things happen and go and develop. And I just love that part of it. And I think that's why I'm always intrigued with Feng Shui. It's like it's got structure, but then it's also flowing, and it's all kind of, kind of like you can manipulate things around to make things happen. Do you find that?
Absolutely. It's shifting the objects and having the right colors and having the right pathway so that the energies can flow. I think of the flow of energies like the flow of water. So you want to be able to have everything working in the way that makes you comfortable and has you be successful and be able to sleep well at night and be able to cook beautiful, delicious food in your kitchen, and to have a great place where you can be studying and learning, and the children can study and learn, and having the home environment really nurture you. That's very, very important, and having your work environment support you. And when I first started doing Feng Shui, there weren't a lot of home offices at that time. We didn't even have, we just barely had the internet.
Yeah.
And now, but I saw that there were people that were starting to do a little bit more work at home, even though they were working for corporations. And I was in Houston, so that's the land of, oil companies. And I consulted to the oil companies for years and years and years. So I actually had the opportunity to do some I didn't call it Feng Shui. I just said, oh, this is just gonna, this is gonna clean everything up, make it more efficient, which it does. And that was one of the primo experiences of my life and my career, to watch then how people could get into that relaxed awareness state where they could be focused and active and productive without all of the, as much of that stress.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know you've got a couple tips that you want to give, to us. Go ahead and give it to us, because I would really like to see how you change the world. What kind of insights can you give our listeners?
Well, one of the most important room in your home is the bedroom. And why is it the most important room in the home? Well, that's where we spend more of our time in one sitting. Is in the bedroom. If you think about it, if you sleep 6 hours, you're not likely to be moving around. You're in this room and you're in this spot, or you sleep 6 hours or 8 hours, and if you're lucky, 10 hours. Those, and so those energies are always referring to us during that time, and that might sound a little woo, but if you think about it, the wind is blowing. That's a particular energy. The sunlight is coming through, and that's a whole bunch of spectrums of energies. And so everything, if you go into the physics of it, is made up of molecules and these things. And we can't see them with our naked eye. We can see results of it, but we don't see that itself. So to begin to, the ancients, let me just back up a little bit. The ancients discovered many thousands of years ago how to calculate and how to identify and recognize and predict how these different energies are going to work together and how they respond to certain things. So that you take those formulas and you bring that into the home, and you can see, okay, so in the bedroom is where the bed needs to be a really good bed. It needs to be up off the floor, not too high, not too low. It needs to be stable, something easy to get into and easy to get out of. And it should be, really a very good bed for your body. the headboard, you should always have a good headboard on it that anchors it. So you're in a anchored, comfortable structure that really supports your body and allows you to relax and feel safe. Now, how do you feel safe? Well, you can be able to see the door from where you're sleeping without turning your head. That's so key. And yes, it's best to not have your feet sticking out the door, but most of our bedrooms are not that tiny that they actually are. They're set up in a way that you can have room to walk around, and so you close the door at night, and you have the bed where you can see the door without turning your head, and you have room for nightstands on each side, so that actually anchors the bed and gives you a good opportunity to have your light, to have your flashlight, to have your paper, to have whatever it is that you may need for whatever event might occur and wake your sleep. Well, then you've got something right there to handle it, and it gives a stability, like trees in the forest holding the hammock kind of philosophy. So that's important. And then having the area under the bed completely clear. Don't put your underbed storage boxes there. That's not the place to store your sweaters. I know. And we
like, oh no, we're going to put all those boxes.
Exactly. So but you want to keep that so that the energy can move through there. It doesn't get stagnant. You don't get people get a lot of their backaches and so forth caused by those boxes, or sometimes people put their dumbbells under there, or their exercise things under there, or that kind of stuff. It just doesn't serve you.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. Then so that's pretty much what goes on with the bedroom. Another thing about the bedroom is a good idea to not have living plants in there. Now, you can have some small ones, but it's best not to have too many or too large, because at night the plants often they'll take up oxygen at night. During the day they give off oxygen, but at night that's the opposite thing. That's mostly for the big trees and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's something that people don't know, and so that's just a practical piece of information.
I know when I had a Feng Shui lady come to the house, and she looked at my bedroom and she just started cracking up, because I used to own Science and Nature retail stores before the Public Speakers Association, and they were, we sold a lot of fossils, and I have a giant bone. It's a leg bone from a hadrosaur dinosaur. And I had it next to the bed. And she goes, "You don't put a dead bone by your bed." I'm like, I don't know. I thought it looked good there, Where else are you going to put this giant bone? So, I said, okay, point taken. Remove the bone from, the dead thing from the bedroom.
Right, it's best to have little flowers or something like that.
You don't think about a lot of things, you just kind of do it, and you find things and you put stuff, just like stuff under your bed. I mean, what a great, I never even thought about, how that was kind of clogging up, the energy in the room.
That's right. Oh, and so now we could talk a little bit about money, the flow of money.
Yeah, we love that.
So this is where it gets a little technical. So there are some really simple systems that will say, well, the upper left corner of your house, that's where the wealth is, and there's, the career is where the door is, and that kind of thing. Well, there's some value in that, but it's a teeny tiny piece of value. So what you want to do is go a little deeper with it and find out. There are books you can buy. There's one book I love. It's been around for a long time. And don't laugh, but it's called The Complete Idiot's Guide to Feng Shui, 3rd edition.
I like the 3rd edition. I love that.
3rd edition. And in that one, there were a consortium of authors that worked together on it. One of them was my teacher, and it took a lot convincing to go in on it. He didn't like the name of it, but anyway, it was a good contribution. So it has all these wonderful charts. So if you can just, now you have cell phones that you can stand and you can get the compass reading with your cell phone, and then you can look in this book and it'll give you the charts and it'll tell you where the money stars are in your house. And there you can put something red and put some water there and just try that and see what happens. So it's really, really exciting to do that.
Like a little fountain type of thing?
A little fountain, yeah. And it really makes a difference. It's quite interesting.
And so usually you would put that to the left highest corner?
No, it depends on where that particular money chi is coming in, and so you'll find that. Now, to satisfy that left highest corner, that's a good place to put some. I wouldn't put real water there, but I would put something that, like, that's where you could put your money frog, or you could, do something like that, or you could have a beautiful bowl with some rose petals inside of it, and that helps to trigger those really good energies. But to get the real money flowing, you want to find out where that money chi is coming in, and you want to activate it with water.
Nice.
Using water, yeah.
Nice. So when you do things like that, you find that it's just more of an activation tool than something that's kind of a steady flow, or is that why there's water, to help kind of flow the money?
Well, water is an interesting thing. Water actually collects energy. It collects the chi, and then you need to move it. So you need to move it so you can move that chi, that good chi, throughout the house and through all the other places. So you want to create that. That then is why you have the fountain going, because the movement then will have the chi not just stay in that one spot. So you want to collect it, and then you want to move it around. So when you walk by it, then the wind, your own tailwind, as you create that, then that will follow you. But you want to keep it. You're not going to be constantly at your fountain and then walking it through the house. So you want to keep that movement going all the time. So that's why you have the fountain. That's why you have that pump going.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
A little technical piece, but it works. It really, really works. I used to spend, in my early days in learning Feng Shui, for about 5 years, every month I went to San Francisco. And I stayed a lot in Chinatown, and I, really got as much information as I could from a lot of the really wonderful people there. But I would go out to the to the water, to the bay, and I would watch and see how when the fog would come in, and how the water would pull it to it and hold it, and then see how the boats would come along, and it would kind of start to stir it up and move it a little bit. So that was just watching in real life in nature to see how can I create that in a home, or in an office, or in a big building, and have it be good. So you go to nature, you find it, then you bring it into the microcosm of your home environment or your office environment.
I love that. So I know you're giving away something amazing today. What is that?
Well, I'm giving an hour of tips, things to do for your own Feng Shui. So it's like a little mini lesson, Feng Shui lesson, and it's all I'm talking the whole time and giving you all these different ideas on how to do your Feng Shui.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah.
So how do they get a hold of you?
They can contact me at Judy at energyforsuccess.org, or Judy at fsrc.net. Those are the two email addresses to get me.
Awesome. Give those both slow again.
Okay, Judy, Judy, at energyforsuccess.org, and also Judy, Judy, at fsrc.net.
Love it. Love it. And Judy's an amazing speaker. So if you're looking for somebody for your event, make sure you get in touch with her and have some fun. Put her on stage.
I love being on stage.
Right? It's so much fun. And obviously, if y'all have not been to my website yet to check out the PSA information, go to publicspeakers with an S association.com. It is always so much fun to become a public speaker and get your message out. You know, just like Judy, she's got so much knowledge. It's about getting out there and changing some lives. I love it. You know, there's nothing more exciting to me than to go out and connect with people and see how you can really affect change, you know, no matter what your specialty is. So perfect. Well, thank you, Judy, for coming on today. I can't wait for you to come on again.
I'm excited. Thank you, and thank you everybody for who's watching this, and how I'm just looking forward to hearing from all of you. Thank you.
Perfect. And if you're listening to this as a recording, please get in touch with Judy anyway. So this is an offer, right, Judy, that people can contact you at any time.
Yes, that's right. It's ongoing.
Perfect. All right, everybody. I know that I will see you next time because you know that I have the most fabulous guests giving so much amazing information to you. So don't miss us next time on the Tonya Hofmann's fabulous TV show. And then, you know, I would love to have you come on my show. So get involved with the Public Speakers Association so that we can have a lot of fun. Get your name known, get your message known, change the world, change lives, and then make some great income as you're doing it. Isn't that the win-win of it all? So thank y'all and have a fantastic rest of your year. Bye. Bye, Judy.
Bye.